Design in response to health crisis. The AIDS crisis allowed unexplored styles of art to flood the public, as things got so bad that the only way they could get people's attention was these powerful, eye-catching imagery that called attention to these ongoing problems. Designers and even ordinary people focused their art around calling out the people and real-life situations that were not being fixed, and this primarily focused around Reagan and his creation of the AIDS-Gate and ACT UP movement. After seeing little was done to solve this crisis, these informative graphics helped inform the public of the real problems taking place, which helped lower the stigma, debunk conspiracies, and build up support for these battling the illness. Through these movements and powerful design approaches, many communities were able to come together to overcome this battle and leave an everlasting mark in history and in the art world. In calling attention to these crucial problems, many different forms of art were implemented and experimented with. These included countless different takes on political figures, expressing facts and statistics, and even art in which you can directly impact yourself. Parodies of heterosexual art were a very successful way of calling out the inequalities seen in the way aid was supplied to these communities. This exposed many of the underlying aspects such as healthcare, expression, homophobia, and sexism that have been around for countless years, but are still being pushed to the bottom of priorities to fix. This colorful art piece you are seeing in the middle is a powerful work of art and puts viewers directly into this ongoing problem. This artist put a large pile of candy in a room and encouraged people to take some. As more and more people take the candy, the pile starts to dwindle and will soon be gone. This work acts as a metaphor for the impact this illness caused and represents the slow deterioration of people's body and their weight as HIV took over. As seen in the AIDS crisis and their powerful fight using design as a weapon, a similar approach was taken with the coronavirus. The first powerful impact design was able to have during this pandemic was the successful way of infographics as a way to educate and inform correct safety and health procedures, especially in the circumstances of COVID and mandatory quarantining. These posters, infographics, and even infomercials we would see on our electronics from home was one of the primary ways many of us received information on this virus and how to stay safe. Similar to the fight for AIDS, designers and communities also used this time to call out many of the ongoing problems that were taking place, primarily consisting of racism and government regulations. As racism towards Asian-presenting individuals was on a rise, designers used powerful graphics to try and control this stigma once again, providing real information that sought to debunk misconceptions towards race and the virus in general. These global health crises are something that does not happen often, and while that is certainly good, it is for this reason why each crisis needs an entirely new approach. Through the process of seeing our successes and failures, we are able to be more prepared every time something like this happens, now knowing more about how people react and jump to conclusions and judgments so quickly. Providing real, valuable information to the public and quickly dismissing negative stigmas before they get out of hand is a large component of that. Finding a proper balance between artistic and analytical design is something designers needed to incorporate, as just a simple poster with a picture of Reagan and the words AIDSgate would not be suffice in helping informing people about this pandemic. But like always, designers took this challenge with a head-on approach and paved way for yet another successful implementation of design that captured many different aspects of the world during this crisis. A global health crisis such as these have an impact much larger than the people directly affected, and we have seen how hatred can form towards people simply because they have a connection with a certain community who has been involved. I think this poster and quote, "The virus doesn't discriminate, neither should we," is a powerful reality that shows just how far the truth can get twisted in all of this commotion, as people look for a scapegoat to blame for their problems. While this idea of racism and xenophobia may be controlled with time, the aspects of barriers limiting effective communication is often the start of where this misinformation and hatred starts to take place. While many things were out of their control, designers were able to harness and communicate the guidance we needed most, successfully adapting to the scenario and supplying the public with powerful graphics that will be seen in history books for years to come.